And we're back with another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for adult business owners and entrepreneurs, where we offer you fast, focused, and financially beneficial marketing at a fair price. I'm your host, best-selling author Sadon Long, and today the question is, what would I do if I wanted to get grant money for my company? So before we jump in, just want to say thank you very much, and implore any of you to go over to growingrich.com, where you can get your free Make Money Fast call. All you got to do is go over to growingrich.com, click the Just Get Started button, and it's going to get you 30 minutes with me. With that being said, the question today is, what would I do if I needed to get grant money for my company to grow my company? And the answer to that question is, I'd focus on three things. I'd focus on my sales, the problems I solve, and the people I solve it for. Again, I'm going to repeat that. I'd focus on my sales. I'd then focus on the problems that I solve, and I'd focus on the people that I solve them for. So with that being said, let's get started. So why would I focus on sales? Well, number one, sales actually make you a real business. Well, what do I mean when I say sales make you a real business? See, in order to have sales, you have to have customers, which means that now there are real people experiencing what you do. So when you sit down with somebody and you're asking them for money, or you're hoping that they give you money, they want to know that you've actually been helping people. And if you have sales that you can track, then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to present social proof. Why social proof is important? Why is social proof important? Because nobody gives money to strangers. Nobody gives money to people that they aren't sure are going to stay in business. Nobody gives money to people who just fill out the paperwork. I know you're thinking, well, I got to have my LLC, and I got to have this, and I got to have that. But everybody fills out paperwork. But not everybody has customers. Not everybody has people that you could pick up a phone and call. Here's what you want to think about. It's like references. So you fill out an application for a job. There are going to be some people who fill out that application and tell straight, bold-faced lies. But what happens is, if you make it to the actual interview, then they're going to ask you questions, called behavioral-based interviewing. They're going to ask you, what would you do in this situation? What have you done in this situation? And if you have sales, then you can actually tell people what you've done in these situations, how you've helped these people in the past. Because now you will have had interactions. And then the other thing is, now it becomes, okay, well, can we talk to some of these people? Okay, can we call some of these companies? No different than if you were applying for a job. See, a lot of times people try to disconnect the commonalities between two things. And one of the commonalities between asking for grant money and asking for a job is people are going to want to check your references. People are going to want to talk to people who've actually worked with you. So if you have sales, trackable sales, customer list, people that we can call, testimonials, then that allows them to prove that you're a real organization. Because as we say each and every week, there are people behind these titles. There are people with families. There are people with expectations that are being heaped upon them each and every day, and they don't want to lose or let people down. So if the person sitting across from you, the only way they're going to keep their job is if they do the right thing, which is grant money, and they don't want to get caught up in these scams or giving away fake grant money, which we see all the time, then they got to verify you. And it's not as much just verifying paperwork. It's verifying that you are actually in business. So if I can call actual people and I can see actual testimonials, it goes a long way. Now, number two, the other thing that having sales does when it comes to asking for grant money is it shows that you actually know what you're doing. It shows that you're actually a serious business owner. Okay? Because serious business owners understand that there's a bottom line involved. And they know that by helping customers and getting sales, that's how they keep the lights on. They know that's how they pay their payroll. They know that's how they're able to hire and fire. See, if you're not focused on sales, then you can't fire bad people, because if you fire the bad people, you're going to have to replace them. And that means that A, there's the loss of all the training, all of the enrolling, all of the things that come with onboarding an employee. And now you got to pay that money all over again for a new one. You got to pay for the background check, the blood test, or whatever things that you have to do to get your employees going. So with that being said, you need money on hand, because it's going to cost you money to fire somebody and hire somebody new. But if you have that money on hand and you've built a customer culture where people like doing business with you, it's a lot easier to pull that person out, because you have enough other good people working and understanding what is important and what is the main thing, and keeping that main thing the main thing. And in this case, it's sales. You know, because in order to get a sale, you need a customer. In order for a customer to give you money, they have to want what you're selling and feel good about it. Not feel like they're going to get used, not feel like they're going to get scammed. So the very fact that you've created a culture that makes people feel good says, hey, we're moving in the right direction. And if somebody's sitting across the table from you trying to figure out in their head whether or not they can trust you, the fact that you've been doing it and doing it well for a period of time goes a long way. Now, number two, I said, hey man, I'd focus on the problems I solve. Okay? Because the person sitting across from you at that table is saying, how can this person help me? How can this person help the people I serve? Two people. The person sitting across from the table, and the person that's sitting across from the table, the people that they're supposed to serve. Okay? So you got to sell not only the person who's going to give you the grant, the board, the people that they report to, but you also have to be able to then prove that you can sell the people that they are covered by. Give you an example. Okay. So let's just say you're in charge of sales for your company, and you sit down with somebody, you're like, hey, we need some expansion capital, and we hear that you're offering this grant. So now you're in the room, they're in the room. Now they're in charge of battered women. You're in charge of sales for your company, they're in charge of battered women. Okay. So now the question becomes is, what problems do you solve for battered women? Okay. Well, what we're able to do is we're able to get them their resumes done. We're able to help them with interview skills. We're able to help them get clothing. We're able to help them get transportation. And now what they're going to want to see is, okay, where have you done that before? Who have you helped do that before? Is there a list of people that we can look at? You know, no different than if you're doing rehab or anything else. It's like, okay, what problems do you solve? Well, we know a lot of people struggle with, and then you fill in the blank. Again, I'll repeat it very slow so you can understand it. And good morning to Consuela. Again, we know that there are certain things people struggle with. Now, that's what you need to be saying. That we know that there are certain people that certain things that people struggle with. That's why we created the following. I know that there are certain people who struggle with getting sales for their companies. Because they don't come from sales and they've never asked for sales in the past, so they avoid it. They run away from it. And because of that, it puts them on a very slippery slope, leading to more than likely them going out of business. Just simply because they don't know how to ask. They don't know how to negotiate. So what we do, see how easy that was? Here's the formula one more time. Okay. We know that people struggle with the following. Okay. That's why we created. We know that people struggle with, then you put in the problem. And it works in any industry, it works in any business, it works in any way. We know that people struggle with. So now you insert whatever the thing is that you can solve. We know that people struggle with losing weight. That's why we created. We know that busy people struggle with making their lawns look beautiful. That's why we created. So now that person sitting across from you is like, they get it. Cool. Why? Because there needs to be an intersection. There needs to be a commonality. We need to have something in common in order for me now to want to give you money. Because if they give you that grant money, what you're then being is now the face of their organization and your own. Okay. So if they hand you $10,000 to help battered women, now you become the face of battered women for that company because that's why they're giving it to you. They're giving it to you so that you can help them get the results for their people better, faster, easier, simpler, with less stress. So if you go into the meeting showing that you understand the problem and that you created a solution to the problem, it goes a long way toward you being able to get the money that you want. So now let's look at it real quick. So now I have solutions to problems that I know work. I've proven that they work because, hey, I got a list of people that they work for. They've given me money. They've had a great outcome. They've given me testimonials. So now you can prove that I'm a business that can help you achieve your goal. See, the problem with the businesses that start up and are asking for grant money to start up their businesses is they don't have a track record. They don't have no proof. All they got is paperwork. People fill out paperwork all the time. People fill out their 501c3, people fill out their LLC, and then they never, ever prove that they're in business. They never prove that they're good at business. They never prove that they could solve one problem. All they did was fill out some paperwork. But in order to get people to give you money, you need social proof. Now, the people who are telling you, hey, I can fill out your paperwork, they're not telling you this part. They're basically omitting this part because they know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if they don't omit this part, you're probably not going to give them any money. Because you'll realize that, hey, even though I got my paperwork filled out, there's a long road between me getting a grant, between me getting a loan, between me getting an investor, and where I am right now. But what that person gets to do is say, hey, I filled out your paperwork, and then they get to dip off. Okay. But if they're not able to sit down with you and say, okay, now we got the paperwork filled out, now we got to start working on our own to prove ourselves, to prove that we can actually do this, to get some actual concrete results, to start to get a list of people that we work with, so that when it's time to sit down, we can. Because when we sit down, that person on the other side who's risking their job by giving you this money is going to want to know what we've done, who we've done it for, and can we do it well? Because if we can't, then they're not going to give us any money. Because if they do, it's going to put their job at risk. When's the last time you put your job at risk for somebody else's dream? You won't take somebody to work if it means that you might be late for your job. So why would someone give thousands of dollars to someone who just filled out paperwork? So you got to be able to get through that hustle stage, that side hustle stage. And I know that all your friends are going to be, well, your little job, your little business on the side, your little whatever. But here's what they do not know. That my little side hustle is building up a track record that is going to put me in a position to be a real business and then ask for expansion capital, as opposed to startup capital that I have no proof that I can recoup for this company or organization. So while you're making it out of your house, while you're sharing a space, while you're going into an office share and taking meetings, while you're taking meetings at Starbucks, document everything. Here's who I met with. Here's how long we met. Here's what we discussed. Here was the outcome. We signed a contract, even though it was for only $25. The outcome of that contract led to the generation of the following. Here's what they said after the fact. So that you can then sit down with someone and say, here's what I've been doing. Not here's what I hope to do. Not here's what I plan to do. Here's what I've actually been doing. The reason most businesses fail is because they never have to give account to somebody of what they've been doing. And if they never have to give any account, then they don't track it. Because, see, people only do what they know you're going to look at. So if you're not working each and every day going, okay, cool, there's some money waiting for me as soon as I get through this phase right here, then you're probably not going to do it. You're going to have a cool grand opening. People going to come out for a minute, but you're not going to be tracking your daily sales. You're not going to be saying from up or down on the week, which means that you can't adjust and then make it go faster, better, easier, because you're not even looking at it. You know, you're not looking at your people saying, okay, my people, they were late today. They weren't showing enough merchandise. They weren't doing enough work. And here's the result because they didn't. So if you're not looking at that stuff, you can't then go back to them and say, hey, yesterday you were late. You know, we had 5 customers come in here. I watched you sell, and you only showed the people one item and then walked to the counter. And now look at the end of the day. Look at the end of the afternoon. Look at the end of your shift. Okay. I can't have that. That is unacceptable. Why? Because when you go sit down for that expansion capital, these people are going to be looking at you like, hey, man, what you doing? You know, a serious business owner, a real business owner would track that stuff. They would know who they met with each and every week. They would know what's going on in their business. Because that person, again, doesn't want to risk their livelihood on you if you can't prove to them that you're a good investment. So I would go back to the problems I solved. Mrs. Johnson was struggling to get a job. Here's how we helped her. You know, we got a resume together. We set her up with some role-playing interview strategy classes. We then got her some interviews with these companies. Then we helped her follow up with emails. We helped her follow up with a letter. We helped her with a phone script that she was to use when she was to call said companies. And then she got the job. See, now I'm not talking about what I would do. Now I'm talking about what I actually did for a customer. You know, when I sit down with the next customer, I can tell them how I was able to solve these problems. You know, people who struggle to grow their companies. Hey, man, I was able to turn their website into a salesperson. You know, I was then able to turn their email marketing into another salesperson. You know, then I was able to turn their social media into a recruiter to help get people to the website so that the website could then close them. And if it couldn't close them, the website would at minimum get their contact information so then the email marketing could step in and keep re-recruiting them until the point where they were comfortable with us enough to give us money. See, when you're able to show what you actually do, then it's a whole lot easier for the person to take a risk with you. You know, so again, what problems do you solve? You know, if they're struggling with this, here's how we solve it. So again, if I wanted to sit down with somebody and I wanted to get a grant, I'd focus on sales because that's real people that I've already helped. 2, I'd focus on the problems that I've already solved so that when I sat down with that person, they could see that I'm actually capable of helping them create the outcome for the people that they're in charge of faster, easier, simpler, with less stress. You know, so again, that's what I would do. You know, and then the last thing, man, you know, people ask the people. It's about the people. See, when people give away grant money, when people give away endowments, when people give away money, it's to support a cause. Okay. So whatever that cause is, people are giving it away because they want to support that cause. They want to end homelessness. They want to end cancer. They want to see people people flourish. So now it's about the people. Now, the cool thing is you know what problems you solve, and you actually have relationships with people who've given you money, who trusted you with their lives, you know. So you have that already. You know, these people have trusted us enough to let us work with them. These people have trusted us enough to give us money. These people have trusted us enough to put their faith in us. Okay. So now, once you know who those people are, you know, you elevate and you celebrate those people. Okay. The reason you want to elevate and celebrate those people, because when you lift people up, they draw other people. You know, I mean, I don't know if Consuela's still in here or not, but you know, Consuela makes these really cool wreaths that go on doors. So now when somebody comes to that person's house, they see the wreath and they're like, oh wow, she honored your mom, or she honored your dad, or she honored, you know, a veteran in your family. Man, I want to do the same thing. What's her phone number? See, the very fact that she made something that made their home more beautiful then put her in a position to get other customers who want their home to be beautiful. You know, so it is always about the people. You know, it's not about you. It's not about your company. You know, it's not about pictures of you. You know, realistically, you don't really need any pictures of you on your website. You need pictures of people that you worked with. You need pictures of people you serve. You need pictures of happy people who've done business with you. Okay, you are the least important member of this equation. It is the people that are going to give you money. It is the people that you're going to help, and then it is you. Because those are the two people that have to get a result. The people who gave you money need to see a return on their money. The people you charge to help need to be closer to the outcome that they want as fast as possible. Okay. There's no room for you to be a superstar in this equation. There's no room for your ego. There's no room for your pictures. There's no room, you know, for you to talk about your dreams. Okay. You are in the service industry, whether or not you like it or not. That's simple. And if you think it's any other way, you put yourself in a position to never make the kind of money that you should make. Because now people who want to work with you for the least amount of money possible. Why? Because they don't see the benefit in it. You know, again, if they don't see the benefit in you, they're not going to pay you. Like, I just think it costs too much. Why? Well, because down the street is cheaper. Okay. Well, here's the reality. You could go down the street, but they haven't done what we do. They can't do it the way we do it. And if I was you, I wouldn't spend the type of money that they're asking to do it because you can't get the result that you want. That's why lifting up other people is so important, because the other people will do the talking for you. You know, I never have to negotiate on a referral. You know, I never have to negotiate when somebody saw me celebrating somebody else. I never have to negotiate in those situations. You know why? Because those people have done all the work for me. Those people have told everybody already. Hey, he's good. Look what he did for me. Look what he did with me. He's the bomb. He's great. He's perfect for you. Yeah. So if those are the people who are going to give you the third party introductions and the endorsements that you need to build your business, why are you talking about yourself? Okay. You need to be talking about what you do for your clients. You need to be talking about what you do for those people that they serve. Because now they'll have confidence in you because they see that you care as much as they do. Okay. Do not get caught up in having something that is useless without sales. Okay. Again, you can fill out the paperwork, you can have your LLC, you can have your EIN, but if you have no sales, what good are they? Now you got a company with no money. Okay, yeah, you got your EIN, you got your LLC, but if you have no sales, now banks looking at you and saying you're not a good risk. Yeah, cool. I got my EIN, I got my LLC, I got my website, but if you got no sales, then all you have is a hosting bill. You know, so learn how to make your salesperson, learn how to make your website a salesperson. Learn how to make your email into a salesperson. Learn how to make your social media into a recruiter. So that now the fact that you have your LLC and EIN number means so much more. Again, we talk about business plans. The reason most people don't get any money because the plan is what you would do. Okay. Now, what you need is social proof. Shout out to David Shands, for naming this podcast Social Proof, by the way. I don't normally shout out David Shands, but that sums it up in a nutshell. You need social proof, not a business plan. You know, you need proof that you have a system in place that works, that it's worked long enough for some people to then say, hey, you did a good job at doing it, so that you're not the only person championing whether or not you're good at what you do. See, now I got an army of testimonials, an army of people who done business with me, an army of people feel good about me, and an army of people who know people that I've done great things for, all saying things about me. So when they go to research me online, when they go to the website, when they go to ask people about me, because remember, it's not much different than getting a job. When they go to quote unquote check my references, what you'll find out is that I'm good, that I am who I say I am, that I've done what I say I've done. So the question is what would I do? That's what I would do. I would make sure that I tracked and focused on getting sales, because getting sales means that I'm actually having relationships with people. Number two, I would focus on the outcomes that I create, problems I solve, so that the people sitting across me who want to give me money can see that I have a good understanding of what exactly it is that these people need. And then I would focus on elevating and celebrating the people. I wouldn't make it about me. I would spend as little time as possible talking about me. Not that it's humble, or not that you don't need to toot your horn. It's just the real fruit comes from what you do for the other people. You hire a coach because of the games he's won. you know, so why? Because you want to win games too. Okay. Here's what I did, when I was coaching before. Here's what I did when I had a team of older guys. Here's what I did when I had a team of younger guys. Here's what I did when I had a client who didn't know how to market. Here's what I did when I had a client who struggled to hire and fire people. Again, what I've done, how I've affected the business for people that these people want to help. How does talking about me get me closer to that? Well, I've been in business for 30 years. Okay, but what have you done with your 30 years? See? So immediately it goes right back to what have you done for the people? Well, I have my master's degree. Okay, well, how have you used your master's degree to help the people that we serve? Well, we have some of the best, food in the city. Okay, that's good. So now how are we going to get the food to the people that need it? Because you could have great food, but a horrible process. So again, people are looking for social proof. Shout out to Yahoo Business. Yahoo Business says, man, it is harder than ever to get credit. Inflation has put people in a situation where over 50% of people are getting turned down. And the people who don't get turned down, my question is, what are their interest rates? So either A, you can't get credit, or B, the interest rate is high, which means that the amount of money that you're borrowing is significantly higher when it comes time to pay it back. So it's not dollar for dollar, it's $1.22 for every dollar, compounded daily. Man, that's a lot like loan sharking. But with that being said, if you do a better job of focusing on your sales and the people you serve, and celebrating and elevating the people that you served when they actually achieve the thing that you helped them achieve, it'll be easier for you to get that grant money. Because the thing that the people who want to fill paperwork out never talk about is how to influence the person on the other side of the table. Okay. The person on the other side of the table has a job that they don't want to lose, whether it's at the bank, whether it's at a foundation, whether if they're speaking for an angel investor. They have to come back and say, hey, we should give this guy the money. And if they say we should give this guy the money or this gal the money, and then they default, they're putting their job in jeopardy. So how do we influence the person across the table? It's not with cleavage, and it's not with sending them flowers and buying them candy. Though those things may help. What it's really with is showing that you understand the customers that they're trying to serve, that you really understand the customers they're trying to serve, and that you really understand how to run a business. And part of running a business is revenue, profits, making sure that there's not a lot of turn and churn. That we're not just churning through customers and turning over employees, which means that you have to hire right and you have to put processes and systems in place to ensure that you keep your customers buying and buying longer, and that you're able to use those customers to then get more customers. Because that's what the person sitting across the table is going to be influenced by. Like, oh, okay, this guy has a proven track record. Hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. But hey, man, this has been another one. Shout out to David Cannon. David Cannon just jumped in a minute ago. Hey, man, if you guys, are looking for somebody who's fitting over 50, because you want to be fitting over 50 and you want to know exactly what it looks like and what to do, man, make sure you check out David Cannon. That's David Cannon, Cannon. Positive brother, great skill set when it comes to getting fit. Does a lot of, man, simple stuff that gives you really great impact. So, man, make sure you check them out. Man, thanks for the shout out, Dave. But again, it's about the people in these positions, because the title don't make the decision, the person does. So make sure that you have a proven track record. The reason I'm talking about Dave, man, because you could look at Dave and see Dave's been taking care of himself. You could look at that driver's license and that birth certificate and say, hey, man, he's not 25, but it looked like it. And he's a good guy, man. So, we want to be around as many good, ethical, honest people as possible, especially in a time where inflation is high, the ability to get money is harder than ever. It's a lot of scammers out here. So again, want to be around people we could trust, people we know going to do the job, people we know that aren't going to run off with the money. So if I recommend somebody, it's because I believe in them and I trust them. Hands down. Salute. So with that being said, man, it's been another episode of Successful Marketing and Sales and Relationships for Adult Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. This is your business big bro, Sadhan Law, a.k.a. the most dangerous man in marketing, a.k.a. the most Mr. Better Than Your 401k. And have a great day. I'm out.